Well, good morning. Here it is. It's Friday morning. Today is November the 24th. Of course, this is the day after Thanksgiving. Of course, a lot of people like to call it Black Friday because of all the shopping and things that will be done, shopping for Christmas and different things. But anyway, I hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hope that you had a wonderful day yesterday, and hope that you were able to be with your family and maybe friends. And anyway, just were able to celebrate a season of Thanksgiving, and of course enjoy a great meal, but also just enjoying being with your family and just being thankful. I hope that you did have a time of thankfulness. And anyway, now here we are Friday, the end of this week, and we're upon the weekend. And anyway, hope you're doing well this morning. Hope you're well rested. Hope you're ready to tackle whatever opportunities that God gives us on this Friday morning. This morning, I want to bring a devotional entitled "Thanks and Goodbye." The ancient Egyptians, they worshiped the Nile River, which included the god of Hapi, who was considered the god of the Nile. Now, obviously, this river was important to them because it was the source of life. And so when God sent 10 successive plagues on Egypt, he started by turning the Nile River to blood. Now, I think it's worth noting, that the ancient Egyptians, they were fanatics about cleanliness. And so thus to have their beloved Nile River suddenly turn to, blood was a severe judgment. God was basically saying, here's your God. Where is he now to save you? And then Pharaoh's magicians, they came along and they turned what little clear water that there was, left, they turned it into blood as well. And of course, it might have been a little bit more impressive, if they had turned the bloody water, back to clear water. However, Pharaoh's heart simply grew harder, and he persisted in his rebellion. Now, next came an invasion of frogs. And in addition to the Nile, the Egyptians, they worshipped a frog-headed goddess called Heket. In effect, God was saying, you want gods? I have gods for you. Let the festivities begin. Everywhere they turned, there were frogs. The Bible tells us, that there were even frogs in their beds and in their ovens. Amazingly, Pharaoh, he had his magicians come in and imitate this plague with even more frogs. But this was getting on Pharaoh's nerves. And so he called on Moses and Aaron to, get rid of the frogs. And so in Exodus chapter 8, in verses 12 and 13, we read, it says, So Moses and Aaron left Pharaoh's palace, and Moses cried out to the Lord about the frogs he had inflicted on Pharaoh. And the Lord did just what Moses had predicted. The frogs in the houses, the courtyards, and the fields all died. Now, the result of that was that the land, it stunk with an odor of dead frogs. But then we read in verse 15, it says, when Pharaoh saw that relief had come, he became stubborn. He refused to listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord had predicted. In other words, this basically saying, this one's getting to me. Call on God, get me out of this. And so that's what Moses and Aaron did. And God answered their prayer, and the frogs died. And when Pharaoh saw that the crisis was over, he backed out of his promise. His heart became stubborn again. Now, this is typical, of some people today, who will call out to God in desperation. They find themselves in a mess that they have created, and so they cry out to God for help. But when he graciously condescends and he helps them, they essentially say, well, thanks, God. See you next crisis. A hospital chaplain kept a record of 2,000 patients that he had visited, all apparently in, a dying condition. who showed various signs of repentance. Now, among those who who had been restored to health, the chaplain felt that only 2 showed a marked change in their spiritual lives after their recovery. See, in other words, when people thought that they were going to die, they called on God. But when they recovered, they basically forgot about him. I pray that we would not, that would not be said of us. I pray that, that when, God does intervene in our lives, whether it be a health crisis, whether it be a financial crisis, whatever the crisis may be, and God intervenes and he helps us get through it, and however he chooses, that we would truly be thankful and that we would be repentant of the actions that may have caused that. Of course, physically, those things just happen, but there are other things that we cause sometimes. But anyway, I hope that encourages you here on this Friday morning. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. And as always on Friday, I'd like to tell you, if you find yourself close to Hydro on Sunday morning and you don't have a place to worship, come join us at Hydro First Baptist Church. We'd love for you to come and worship with us and share that time with us. But anyway, remember, Angie and I, we love you guys, and we're praying for you. And Lord willing, I'll see you soon. God bless you.